Hi, I'm Dr. Scott Hamilton. Welcome to General Psychology for the fall semester of 2021. We'll be working through the short term, typically referred to in your Vernon College materials as Fall 1. I want to direct your attention to the working outline that I provided for you in Canvas. It's also a time for me to say hello as well as welcome you to the class. I want to go through this particular document in such a way that helps you understand the way I'm thinking about moving through this course. It also provides you some extremely important information about when things are due and how things will actually function in this class over the course of the next 8 weeks. Now, of course, the first page simply refers to me as an instructor, as well as a phone number where you can get in touch with me. If by chance you run into some sort of emergency issue related to class, whether it be something you've missed, something you may or may not need opened or closed, anything like that, you can certainly text that number. Barring very rare circumstances, I am very prompt on responding to texts and will do so as quickly as I possibly can. You'll find on that first page some general introductory information, some course outcomes. I am glancing at the bottom of the page to help you know that the book has changed for the fall. We've moved back to the Morris and Maisto version of Understanding Psychology. It's the 12th edition. It looks something like this right here. That's the first page. Now the second page is the one you want to be most concerned with. Please note there's some blue writing at the top of the page that has due dates. Please remember, all discussion posts are due no later than Wednesday evening at 11:59. All response posts are due no later than 11:59 on Saturday evenings. All quizzes, of which you will have one each week, are also due no later than Saturdays by 11:59. All of those things will be available for you in Canvas, and I'll point you through them as we maneuver through the rest of this document. We will be covering 2 chapters per week, which means that there will be 2 places for you to post discussion information as well as response posts. Each week we'll have again those 2 chapters. We'll have a test after the first 4 chapters. We'll have a test after the next 4 chapters, which will be 5, 6, 7, and 8. We'll have a third test that includes chapters 9, 10, and 11. And the last test, which is theoretically not a final, it is simply the last test, will encompass chapters 12, 13, and 14. All of that information is here on your second page of the course outline. Please note that the last formal week of class, which begins on October the 11th, we will not be having anything due except for that final test. And again, that's only through chapters 12 through 14. During the course of our time together, we'll deal with online discussions, response posts. There may be assorted or a sundry chapter assignments here or there, depending on my mood. We may or may not be using any sort of access to Revel, which is Pearson's computerized additional web space that we might be able to use. The point calculation is on page 3. Please note that each one of the discussion posts, one for each chapter, is worth 10 points. There will be a rubric available for you to use to understand how I will grade it. Each one of these discussion posts must be at least 6 full sentences long. I'll make sure and point you to an example post that will be available for you so you get an idea of how that is to look. Each response post must be a full 4 sentences long. Please check your punctuation. You may be thinking in 4 specific sentence-like thoughts, but if the punctuation is not there, you may have only written 1 sentence. Please note, each one of those response posts is worth 5 points, which means that we'll have 140 points worth of discussion posts, 70 points worth of response posts, 210 points worth of quiz points. We'll have 4 tests at 125 points apiece. Please don't be afraid. We're not going to have 125 questions at 1 point apiece. We'll have 25 questions at 5 points apiece. We're also going to have a project or a specific assignment in the open and closing aspect of the document, it's referred to as a signature assignment. I'll give you some more information on that as it's needed. And if you add all of those things up together, you're going to end up with 1,000 points. The object of the general psychology game in my class is to gather as many points as possible. The idea is to reach at least 900 points. The grade book and the way it's set out should show you a point total at the bottom of the page, as well as a percentage of materials that are also complete. Those numbers should match pretty closely. If they don't, please be sure and let me know. Again, each week we'll have a discussion post, a response post, and a quiz. Discussion posts are due on Wednesday by 11:59. Response posts are due by Saturday at 11:59, as are each chapter quiz. That is also notated for you again in a different color ink on the bottom of page 3. Page 4 has information related to tests or other types of assignments, how I will compute grades. A couple of things to be sure and remember. I do not do extra credit. Materials are due when they're due. Barring a very rare circumstance, I will usually not reopen any sort of material for you. Please do your work in an expedient fashion. And what I mean is that we're all going to encounter challenges from time to time. Those of you who are parents, your children will get sick. I promise. Somebody will get sick before the semester is over with. Other challenges that come up is that you will spill your coffee across your keyboard and short out your computer. I've done that more than once and fried more than one computer. Please get your work done as quickly as possible. You may get sick, your children or your significant other may get sick, you may burn up a computer, you may jump on the line to take a test, and the internet will hiccup and kick you offline. And depending upon what time of day or night that happens to be, I might or might not get that message until after that particular test is due. In testing situations, if I'm dealing with an internet hiccup of some sort, I'll usually reopen that. But again, if the test is taken care of by the time it's typically due, we usually don't have those sorts of challenges. Get your work done. I promise things are going to come up. All kinds of things will come up. If you don't have your Vernon College email set up, you need to do that as soon as possible. That is where I will communicate with you. I will send information via email to that email address. Where you have that email forwarded, I'm not worried about that. That's between you and your other email address, but just be sure to know that that Vernon College email is where I will send your information. Please note that if you send me email from somewhere else, it may or may not pop into the Vernon College email box as it usually would. Please note if I'm somewhat behind with email, I will get to you as quickly as possible. Now, when it comes to discussion posts, it is to be discussion-like. When people post something related to the week's assignment, ask somebody a question. At the very least, you can do that as a part of your response post. The idea is for us to have a little bit of discussion. Part of my job is to facilitate that conversation a little better for you, and hopefully we'll all get that done in a better fashion over the course of the next 8 weeks. Please know that I'm glad you're here. We've all had a very interesting year considering COVID and other potential challenges that each of us has faced. I hope you're ready to go. An 8-week term goes very quickly. It's important for you to buckle up and hang on tight. If you have some sort of concern or need, be sure and let me know. I'm available at 940-247-0595, or you can certainly send me email at shamilton@vernoncollege.edu. If you need, I'm available to help. I can always arrange to visit with you in person if you need. I look forward to our time together. Have a great day.